of course, the fetishisation of rail projects is something that is very, very dear to the heart of people who chiefly stand to gain from them, mainly inner city people. What they don't understand is that Australia, this isn't Tokyo or London. We do not have the population density to make extensive investment in rail a worthwhile thing to pursue. Australians love cars for that reason. It's very difficult to get Australians out of their cars. But we also don't have the construction costs of somewhere like China, which is often held up as the poster child for all these wonderful railway networks. Well, as I said, stretches 1 and 2 of this project will cost $200 billion. We can't afford it. We don't need it. It never stacked up. Even Infrastructure Australia and groups like that are scratching their heads wondering why we need this thing. And as has been explained by yourself and others, it will push Victoria over the financial cliff. So I think Matthew Guy has made a strong start in saying he will cancel that project and redivert expenditure. So I guess, if nothing else, this election will be a referendum on what is, even for Labor, by Labor standards, a horrendous and obnoxious white elephant on a gargantuan scale.
Or dead set loopy, as they might say, Gideon. Now, the Age newspaper published the result of a poll of 5,500 Victorians today, which said the top 3 issues in this election are, wait for it, integrity, health and the environment. Now, Gideon, how did integrity find its way into that top 3?
Look, I'd love to think that it is because Dan has more baggage than Zsa Zsa Gabor at Heathrow after his term of government in terms of integrity issues hanging over his government, whether it be red shirts, whether it be the code inquiry, whether it be Lawyer X, whether it be the perennial whistleblowing of people like Adam Somyurek. But I really do think it's all because people broadly don't trust politicians that much in this day and age. People think that not just Liberal, not just Labor, but the entire political class does not have their best interests at heart. I think people are starting to get the impression that politicians of all stripes are in it for themselves. That's why we're seeing this focus on integrity. Don't forget that all this integrity is sort of climbing its way to the top of the political charts, as it were, but that isn't necessarily translating into votes for Matthew Guy, partly because, and this is something even I don't completely understand, that lobster with the mobster moniker that Labor showered down on Matthew Guy the last time he was leader of the 2018 election has stuck. I speak to friends of mine who are running for the Liberal Party in certain seats, and they have punters coming up to them saying, "Oh, is there a free lobster policy with that?" So, integrity is climbing its way up to the top of the list. Will that translate into votes for the coalition? Maybe, maybe not, maybe at the margins. But again, I think it's just due to the broader failures of the political class, Liberal, Labor, state, federal, all the way down. People just don't trust politicians. And you know what? I don't either, and I don't blame them.
Well said, even though it is a pretty grim summation. But thanks for your time, Gideon Rozner.
Always grim, baby. As REM said, it's the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine.
So do I, Gideon. Always a pleasure to have you. That's Gideon Rozner of the Institute of Public Affairs, which is doing more than just about any organisation in Victoria to hold the Andrews government to account.